What is going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great night. It is game one of the Western Conference Finals between the Nuggets and Lakers. We are going to talk about it. Let's get started.
Live from LA like the Lakers with a late show. Home of the Dodgers where the palm trees grow. Feeling like Ben Roethlisberger when he went pro. With my stellar fans and everybody, let's go. Magic in the gathering for the ones that don't know. Late night with Suge, y'all turn into the show.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Well, not really happy. Fix my camera there. It is Tuesday night. The first game of the Western Conference Final was tonight between the Los Angeles Lakers and Denver Nuggets. We are going to talk about this game. We're going to talk about what's going to happen, what adjustments we might see in game two. And yeah, glad all you are here. Of course, Brandon is always here first. Hope you're having a good night. Actually, I just saw your comment saying you lost some money on this parlay. So did I. I had everything covered except the Lakers not winning. Had the Lakers won, I would have won. So I feel you, Brandon. I feel you. What up, Big Reg? How you doing, brother? Hope you're having a good night. Jose, what's up, Jose? How you doing tonight? Hope you're having a great night. Appreciate you being here, hanging out. Good talk some basketball. I know you love talking basketball. Can't wait to hear you talk some basketball tomorrow because you are. I just love when you talk basketball. I actually like when you talk sports. Period. The man below you, though, LeBron. I mean, he did his thing tonight. We're gonna talk about it though. We're gonna talk. If I'm a Lakers fan or I'm a Lakers player, I'm not mad at all. I'm not even. I'm not even tripping about this game, to be honest with you. But we'll talk about it. I only bet 20 is free bets, but I would have won 24. I bet $5 and I would have won. I would have won 200. So I understand. I feel you. I feel you, Brendan. It sucks. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But we will talk about it. All right. So game one of the Western Conference Finals in Denver, Lakers versus the Nuggets. We know going into this game that the two-time former MVP Jokic on the Denver Nuggets and AD were going to be the matchup. We knew that was going to be the matchup, and how the series plays out is going to be really on them too, because they would be guarding each other, things like that. Now, when we talk about our game two, sorry, we're talking about game one, but going into game two, we may see some changes. But, Jokic, the two-time MVP, Anthony Davis, perennial All-Star, great, been playing great in the playoffs, really defensively. Um, this matchup is what everybody was looking forward to as far as this game. And so we go into this game, and Jokic just starts off hot, and so do the Denver Nuggets. I mean, you see it right there on the scoreboard, 37 points, 25 for the Lakers, and even into the second quarter, 35 points. They just seemed they could have missed a shot. They were just putting 3-pointers, 2-pointers, off balance, falling away, last second shots that were just going in. I mean, there's nothing you could change about that. The shots were just going in, and they were really doing a great job as far as utilizing Jokic talents. They were on full display. He was rebounding the ball. He was distributing the ball. He was scoring. He was drawing the Lakers defense toward him, which opened up shots for Caldwell Pope, which opened shots for Michael Porter Jr., which opened shots for Jamal Murray. And it seemed like the Lakers were just out of sorts, didn't really, know what to do. Even though they, 25 points in the first, 29 in the second. you you felt like the Lakers. It really, if you're watching this game through, not a homer eyes, you felt like the Lakers were like doing the best they can, but Denver just was on top of their game, was scoring points, and really could have been a blowout game, um, which I was worried about. And we thought maybe it was maybe the altitude that got to them, maybe just tired legs, things like that. And in that first half, Anthony Davis was playing well. He wasn't off. He wasn't. He's being outplayed, but all around, not really scoring wise. Like Anthony Davis, I believe, had like 19 points in the first half, maybe a couple more. I'm not really sure. He did end up finish with 40, but he was being outplayed just all around. Defense, offensively. As far as distributing the ball, drawing defense, things like that, rebounding. Because at half, I think Jokic already was in double digits in rebounds, and Anthony Davis only had two. Excuse me one second. Excuse me. And um, Anthony Davis only had two rebounds going into the second half. So, let's just be frankly honest. Jokic was outplaying Anthony Davis in that first half, all around. And, so I was a little worried. I was like, okay, if the Lakers don't come back, sit everybody, let them get some rest, see what happens. Well, in the second half, Lakers scored 38 points. And when they interviewed the Denver's coach, he even said, he goes, they're starting to score at will, and it's really scary. We don't want this to continue. Um, but also in that second half, Denver continued to score also. I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, man, they just can't miss a shot. Carwell Pope, Michael Porter Jr., Green hit a shot. You're like, let him take a shot all day. He hits it. And you're like, oh, like, are they going to miss? And I tweeted it out about that time. I said, if you're the Lakers, you're down 14 going into the fourth. You kind of just got to be like, hey, they've been hitting shots. There's not much more we can do. I mean, there's adjustments that you can do. There's things, and they obviously did make an adjustment, but you're down 14 and they're just hitting every shot. Like Jokic hit a step back before the end of the period, a 3-pointer, which was nuts. There was Jamal Murray hit 20 before he got a 24-second violation, hit a step back 3, but they ended up counting it a 2. There's just shots after shots where the Denver Nuggets just got shots to go in, and that's just how it is. Like when it's your night, it's your night, And so going into the fourth, and Mr. J talked about Mr. J brought up Rui. They switched Rui on the Joker and Anthony Davis onto why am I blanking on the name right now? Gordon. Yeah, they switched him on to Gordon, and Gordon's not really an offensive threat. So Anthony Davis was able to roam the paint when Jokic would drive on Rui and be able to, and he got a lot of blocks on him from that point on, where Anthony Davis was protecting the rim. Now I will say, Lakers do get a lot of foul calls. There were some questionable calls in this game that really, I believe, kind of swung momentum, but we're not going to complain too much. And in that fourth quarter, Lakers outscored Denver 34-26. They still lost by 8. They were close. They were down 3 when LeBron took a 3. I wish he would have drove the basket, because all night he had been driving the basket and just tearing them apart, tearing Denver's defense apart. They have no answer for LeBron. And if that's what you're going to continue to do, he can beat them. The problem for the Lakers is, which I think they've kind of figured out, which is why I'm saying game 2, this game, yes, it was a loss, but the Lakers should feel good because they figured out some things, and now Denver's going to have to adjust. But I wish LeBron would have drove the basket, because he seemingly kept getting contact, getting 3-point plays. And I think he needs to continue to do that. I understand they were down 3. They wanted to kind of, he wanted to kind of put some pressure on Denver, but you got to drive the ball. Austin had hit some good big threes for them. D'Lo wasn't much of an effect tonight, which is which is now you got to make that adjustment. Do you start Rui over D'Lo? Do you start Rui over Schroeder and let Schroeder come off the bench? I think Schroeder did a good job versus Murray. Again, some questionable foul calls, but it seemed like they struggled with Rui guarding Jokic, and also too up until the last couple minutes of the about 5 minutes left in the quarter, I believe Jokic had 0 points. So Rui was doing his job, and you had Anthony Davis able to patrol the paint and being able to be a rim protector, a defensive stopper. And I think that's going to be the adjustment for the Lakers in this next game. Again, I don't think Denver's going to be shooting like that all series. I mean, they shot the lights out. If you go and look, Lakers they shot for 46%, 15 out of 32. And they got some huge 3-pointers makes from people. Caldwell Pope's going to give you those. Maybe even Michael Porter Jr. But they were getting some, like, Green was hitting shots. Jokic hit a couple threes, and I know he's been shooting well from the 3-pointer, but you're not really saying, you're not worried about that actually beating you. I think where you're worried is the offensive rebounds, and real quick.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Oh, the man was awake. He told me I'm gonna be asleep dreaming about a Lakers win, but it must have kept him up.
Yeah, I mean, I was fine with the way the game was going. I was like, okay, they're getting blown out, whatever. It's game 1. Nuggets were playing out of their mind. Fine, I'm gonna go
out of their mind.
And then they started to come back, and I was like, well, I can't go to sleep now. And I had to watch the entire game and watch LeBron take one of the most ill-advised threes I could imagine. When they had a shot to tie it. But yeah, no, I'm awake now.
Well, we're going to talk about that. Yeah, I think that. Well, let me ask you this question, Brady. I mean,
yes,
the first half, Denver shot out of their mind. Like, they were just making shot after shot after shot. Now, I know Caldwell Pope can make shots. I know Jokic can make shots. Michael Porter Jr. I'm not really familiar with, but the broadcaster was like, well, he's a good shooter.
He's a good shooter.
But I mean, there was shots Murray was making that was like just threes at the end of the, like, 2 seconds left. Jacks up a 3, makes it. The same with Caldwell Pope. Same with So that first half, as a Laker, as a player, or even as a fan, you're kind of just like, okay, they're making shots. Yeah. Now, if they continue to do that in the second half, we're just sit the guys, let them sit. But Anthony Davis is having a decent game. Like, I think he was still being outplayed, but he was scoring. And I wish his rebounds would have been, because I think that would have been.
Yeah, he was being out rebounded, but I mean, he ended up with I think it was exactly 40 points.
He was up,
10 rebounds, and he played very well on defense. But Jokic is not a guy that you can stop. And it's the same way, because it's funny that, like, nobody's saying that that Anthony Davis outplayed Jokic on the other end, but he did, right? Like, Jokic didn't stop him either. But that's what you kind of expect when you have players of that caliber. And this is why we had talked about yesterday's show. That's why I wanted Mo Bamba to be healthy and ready to play for the series, so that they could put him on Jokic and get Anthony Davis off of him, let him kind of just roam around the paint, protect the rim, give help defense, and they started doing that in the second half a lot with Rui, and it was effective. But it was Denver's night. It was, even through 3 quarters, they were shooting, I believe it was 53% from 3.
Which they're not known for.
50, right? And they had made like 15 3-pointers. Yep. And I give the Lakers credit for kind of sticking with it. They obviously made their run. They cut it to 3, and they just didn't have enough to pull out the win. But I don't really expect the Nuggets to keep on shooting like that. They have guys who can shoot, but you don't expect all of their shooters to be on like that at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure, we did talk about, is Murray that guy? I think he could still play well because I was looking at the when they played in 20. He averaged a decent amount of points, so
Mhm.
he can be effective. But are you expecting to get 21 from Caldwell Pope every night? Are you expecting to get 15 from Michael Porter Jr.? Are you expecting to get 16 from Bruce Brown Jr.? Like,
No, but
no. So
and yeah,
you take half. Let's say you don't even take half. Let's say you take 4 or 5 points from Brown Jr., 4 or 5 points from Michael Porter, and 6 points from Caldwell Pope. Lakers are winning this game.
well, yeah,
They're winning
and
this
that's the
game.
thing. They're all capable of having games like that. They're all good role players. They can all kind of have a a little mini blow up game. At any point. It's just you don't expect them to all play that well at the same time.
Yeah,
And honestly, you don't expect them to continue that all the way through the series. And living Big Reg, no, Austin Reeves is not that dude. The thing is, like, Austin Reeves has some talent. I'm not saying he doesn't have any talent at all. He's a pretty good shooter. I mean, he's not athletic, but he gets, he's able to get his own shot off the dribble. He can get into the paint, get to the rim. The problem with Austin Reeves is he does it too much, and he makes bad decisions with the ball. He takes bad shots. Like, even at the end of at halftime, they went on a little run. Right, they were down 20. They cut it to 13. They get the ball with 11 seconds left, and Austin Reeves, instead of running the clock down, immediately throws it down to Anthony Davis right under the basket. He gets fouled, which allowed for the Jokic three at the end of the half. There's no scenario under which Denver should have gotten another shot right before halftime when the Lakers had the ball with 11 seconds left. Right.
yeah,
And he shot 7 for 14 tonight. Right. But it's the decision making process that I don't like with Austin Reeves. There's times, anytime he touches the ball, really, you can see that he's looking for the shot. He's going to try to get his shot, and if he can't, then he'll pass it off, right? And he's not that type of player. He's not the type of player that should be playing like that.
yeah,
But
for sure. And Mr. Bah Humbug coming in here to take away 3 of Reeves 3-pointers. I mean, but he made those though. And he's shown to make those. So I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Rogue Pod. But if you the second half though, Bronny, Laker, like Darvin Ham adjusted really well and he figured something out. And I think if you're walking out of this game, I actually think Denver, you're a little worried.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to continue to put Rui on Jokic, have Anthony Davis run the paint, Gordon, who's not really an offensive threat. I mean, he can,
Right.
he can drive the ball and things like that. He's not really an offensive threat. Davis is going to camp out, and it
Yeah.
gave Jokic problems.
Mhm.
And if I'm Denver, I am now like, what do you do now? What can you do? Because the problem is they were saying Jokic could bring Anthony Davis out of the paint, and now Rui, who is not as big, but he's strong and he
Mhm.
can hold up with Jokic a little bit. I don't think he's gonna be able to do it for the whole game. But if you're switching Davis, maybe like you said, Mo Bamba, bring him in and help on Jokic. I think that's gonna affect Jokic because he did not seem comfortable in that fourth quarter.
Well, and they mentioned it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. It's just he didn't look comfortable. There was he got some real. I'm not gonna say lucky, but he got some real fortunate shots where he just threw them up and they went in.
Mhm.
Where he's like falling away, things like that, which is his game.
Yeah.
It is his game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like those were some fortunate shots. And now that the Lakers are gonna make this adjustment, we're assuming. What does Denver do? How do they make an adjustment? Because they got to figure something out. Because you had a 20.1 lead on the Lakers. Should have knocked them out. Your guy should have been resting by mid fourth quarter,
Mhm.
and it didn't happen. And they had to play extra minutes. Even they played. I mean, Murray played 31 points, played crazy. Caldwell Pope, all these guys. You had to play crazy to beat the Lakers.
Yeah.
Now what happens when you're not playing crazy? You know, they couldn't defend LeBron, which is why we're both upset about that shot where he could have went down to the paint and he probably would have got fouled and it could have scored and had a 3-point play. You know,
Yeah, LeBron hurts himself and the team a lot at this point by taking those threes. Like he was 0 for 4 from three tonight. He's a terrible 3-point shooter at this point in his career. But the Nuggets literally don't have anyone who can match up with him in the post, right?
Nobody.
So I mean, if he's gonna bring the ball up, he's gonna handle the ball. He needs to run the offense. He needs to distribute the ball, or they can dump it down to him in the post, and he can either take it to the basket or find an open man from there. But him shooting threes, it's got to be over with. Like you can tell he's he's the greatest of all time, and he's always he worked himself into being a good shooter. He couldn't. I mean, he wasn't even a good 2-point shooter when he came into the league. And that was you remember in early on in his career in the playoffs, they went to the finals and played the Spurs, and their whole defensive strategy was just let LeBron shoot because he's not going to make him. But he worked himself into a good shooter. But that part of his career is over. You can see him trying to kind of reach back and he's saying, hey, we're down 3. It's late in the 4th. This is a LeBron moment. I'm going to take this shot. I'm going to make this shot because
it almost went in. It went in and then popped out. Like,
I mean, listen.
Wasn't a clanker.
You're a professional basketball player. They better all almost go in. But it wasn't a clinker. It wasn't a clinker.
Yeah,
but it didn't go in, right?
Yeah,
you have guys on the court who can shoot threes. Get the ball to them, or like I said, or go in the post, take it to the basket. You can't stand back there and just shoot threes. And that that's the same thing I criticize Austin Reeves for. LeBron can't do it at this point either. But to your point about Rui on Jokic, they mentioned it on the broadcast as well that once they switched Hachimura onto him, he wasn't bringing the ball up the court anymore either because. He's a much bigger guy, and that's a huge advantage for him in the paint. But just out in the open court, you're going to be wary of Rui getting a steal on Jokic or giving him problems just bringing the ball up the court. And I hope that we do see a lot more of that, whether it's him or Vanderbilt or if Bamba comes back, and just letting Anthony Davis, like you said, roam around. Hopefully. Grab some more rebounds because they have been getting absolutely destroyed on the boards, and that has to stop. It has to stop.
30 to 47. That's no.
Yeah,
you gotta get more. And I think you're right. I think Ham will make the adjustment. Most likely Rui will start over Schroeder maybe to make that adjustment. And I think that that adjustment is going to affect. The Nuggets because, like you said, nobody can guard LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And if Rui is in there and Jokic has to, because if Jokic is guarding Anthony Davis, Rui can cut. He's probably being guarded by Gordon or somebody, and can cut. We saw that they can get this team into foul trouble, and make it a really sluggish game. So I hope they make that adjustment for the next game. But I'm going to ask you about Anthony Davis in a second. Let me just read some of these comments, especially from the haters. Shout out, what's up, Jeremy? How you doing? Hope you're having a great day. You're the one talking about taking away Denver's player point in which they scored. Yeah, but I'm saying you're not expecting that every night. So Nuggets can't stack off like that again, but they're a smart team and will probably adjust in game 2. Yes, but what adjustments are you making?
Well,
that can be effective because you can't guard somebody you can't grow somebody to guard LeBron. Like Jokic can't guard LeBron and not guard Anthony Davis. That's the problem. Like maybe Michael Porter, I didn't realize how tall he was. But he looks like he can't hang with LeBron.
No, he's tall, but he's nowhere near as big as LeBron and not a great defender, but he can't hang with LeBron in the post, right? So it's one of those things that you just kind of you're gonna have to accept. You can't stop. You don't have a good matchup for LeBron really. On the other end, they mentioned this on the broadcast as well. You can put Anthony Davis in the pick and roll and kind of get him off of Aaron Gordon or whoever they're kind of letting him float on and draw him out of the paint that way. other than that, you're kind of just looking for Aaron Gordon to step up and make some shots and force Anthony Davis to pay more attention to him. Um,
I let him. If Eric
yeah.
Gordon goes off.
Right. And I said that in our Discord. I was like, if you're relying on Aaron Gordon to be the X factor and score you some points, then so be it. Good luck. I don't think you'll be able to do it. But they have to get him into that situation before that's even relevant, right? They didn't do it tonight, but they've got to try and make that happen moving forward. I think that Jokic himself will adjust to Rui. I mean, he's the best player in the world at this point. I wouldn't expect Rui to really, really bother him, but it's going to be about just, Rui staying in there and just trying to hold his own, and Anthony Davis and the other guys making sure they don't give him easy passes out of the paint. And if he kills Rui in the paint, then again, so be it. You'll live with him just scoring on Rui every chance he gets. If you come down the other end, if they're not making threes, you don't have Caldwell Pope going off. You don't have Bruce Brown scoring 15. You don't have Porter making 3 or 4 threes. You'll live with Jokic getting his points on Rui, and then you come down the other end and you let LeBron and AD do their thing. And see if Denver can keep up, because always the strength for LA is their defense. But now they've also got guys who can score, guys who can shoot. So tonight they were really lazy and playing kind of
in that first half.
Even through most of the third quarter. But then they got into the game, and you saw that defense really wake up in that fourth quarter, and you saw how effective they can be.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for missed threes, we were maybe talking something different. AR may command a bag somewhere else this offseason, and we use that number 17 pick to replace his productivity, possibly. I think he's going to stay with the Lakers. I think he likes playing with LeBron. You got to let Heat and Cavs Bron go. Yeah, facts. Second greatest of all time. Ooh.
Yeah, no, he's not. No,
the last time he was good at shooting three was in his Heat days. Yeah, he said that. He wasn't really a good 3-point shooter then either. To me, he's always been a okay shooter, but a great scorer. Okay. Told y'all it's a size matchup. Gordon and MPJ can't get going. Might have to sacrifice some offense for defense. LeBron's guards himself with them threes.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here with that. If the Lakers want to win, LeBron can't play hero ball. He's got to make everyone around him better. That's why the Lakers team has been surprisingly good. I mean, he was making everybody. He didn't really do any hero ball other than that 3-pointer. I mean, you try to tie the game. If he hits it, we're not talking. You're not saying this, And so it was. Was it a shot I recommend? No. But he's made those before. And he's done it before, so that's why he thought he could do it. I felt if he would have drove the ball to the basket, he probably would have got a 3-point play, or at least 2-3 throws cutting it to one.
Yeah,
So MBJ is like Page, a good shooter, just a waste of. I mean, Page was an awesome shooter. Nuggets were a little lucky. The Suns just gave up. You can't do that with this Lakers team. Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Griff, probably first time here. Oh, he's a Baltimore and Pelicans fan. Wow, that's interesting. What's up, Griff? Appreciate you being here. Nuggets in 5. Oh, Griff, that's disrespectful. But, I think that
pretty nonsensical given what we just watched. I think
right. Ronnie, if you're AD, what do you take from this game? Because we know AD's had trouble, the next game after sometimes. If you're AD, what are you taking from this game, and how do you stay, motivated? To play against this guy.
Obviously, and you saw it on his face after Jokic hit that 3 at halftime, right? That he was just like, man, what can I even do with this guy, defensively, right? But with the adjustments they made in the second half, what if I'm AD? What I'm taking away is if we can get somebody else onto Jokic for the majority of the time, I can be much more effective defensively, and they have absolutely nothing for me on the offensive end. Whether it's Jokic or anybody else, they cannot stop Anthony Davis. So he keeps that in his head and just stays aggressive. He's going to have a great series, and they're going to have a great chance to win.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you're looking at the Lakers, you're looking at Denver, you're saying, no, Lakers don't really have anybody that can slow down Jokic,
Mhm.
but the Nuggets don't have anybody that can really slow down LeBron or AD.
Yeah.
And so now it becomes you got to make it harder for Jokic. You got to not let Murray and Michael Porter Jr. and Bruce Brown, score like they did. You gotta get back in transition, man. There were so many easy
Yeah.
layups. Even just to like keep them from hitting threes because they were just getting to the lane, passing out, boom, hitting a three.
Yeah, they
Got
were
it.
very lazy defensively.
Yeah, they were very lazy, and you can't do that. Now, I think the Nuggets were very hyped about this game, and they
Mhm.
came out like gangbusters. But again, if I'm the Nuggets, I'm worried because you were beating the Lakers down. They should have rested LeBron and AD by the middle of that fourth quarter, and they weren't. And now you're a little worried because it's like that's probably one of their best games they played all playoffs,
Yeah.
and you almost didn't win.
And then
You know,
their
you
coach
were
was very concerned about that too. They talked to him at the end of the third quarter when they were up 14. He was like, "Man, we gave up 38 points in that quarter. We gotta tighten up on defense," and they didn't. Not
yeah,
really. So I think that obviously like he said in the post game, it's difficult to get wins at this point in the season. It's hard. You're playing the best teams in the league. Nobody is one dimensional. Everybody has great players, so they're obviously very happy with the win. Going up 1-0 in the series, but I think that it's going to be in the back of a lot of those players' minds that they almost blew that game. And
for
if
sure.
you're the Lakers, for them, it's going to be. I mean, like I said, obviously you're upset about losing the game. You don't want to lose and go down 1-0, but they're probably right now looking at themselves like, man, we beat ourselves in this game.
Yeah, and we need to show up in the first and second quarter
Yeah.
because I think that's where the game was won was if they just showed up.
Mhm.
And just like Mr. J said, Brown scoring those layups pissed me off. Just a lack of effort on our part. Facts, the fact, he was like high fiving and saying something against your favorite player, Reeves. I think Reeves fouled him and he scored and he was saying something. And I'm just like, come on, man, nobody's heard of you. Like, and it's the same thing with Reeves. Like nobody's heard of you up until this season.
I've heard of Brooklyn Net legend Bruce Brown.
Okay, well, that's good for you. Bruce Brown Jr. or Bruce Brown Sr.?
No, Bruce Brown. He played for Brooklyn.
I know, but he's a junior, so I didn't know which one you were talking about.
Talking about that one, the one that dunked on 3 Lakers while they just stood there watching the night.
He did, and laid it up too. Laid up like he had a clean layup on like 3 Lakers. You're like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, game 2 is on Thursday. Like I said, I was talking earlier. Brandon said he missed on his parlay. I had all, and I'll read you my parlay, and I'm just sick to my stomach right now because my parlay was stacked. So I had LeBron plus 22 points, plus 7 rebounds, plus 6 assists.
Yeah.
Hit.
Mm-hmm.
I had Davis plus 15, plus 8 rebounds. Hit.
Got that.
Austin Reeves plus 10, plus 4 assists.
Got that.
Hit that. Jokic, obviously, I don't even gotta say what Jokic did.
And then you threw a Lakers win on the end, didn't you?
I total points 215. Lakers win. Actually, I missed on Murray because I had him at plus 6
Assists.
So now I don't feel as bad.
Okay.
But he gave me 31 points.
Yeah.
I should have put Jokic was going to get a triple double. Good.
Listen,
yeah,
man,
20,
you gotta
21
stop
rebounds.
at 3. You're gonna be going to these 7, 8, 9 leg parlays, man. It's not gonna hit.
I go for the moon. If you're not gonna go for the moon, don't go at all. Okay, that's what I've been told. But the next game is on Thursday. What is your confidence level that Lakers can steal this game on Thursday?
Pretty high. I think that I always thought that they would just split in these first 2 games, and I think that's kind of what they look for. But considering the way they played in the second half, I think they will show up much better from the opening tip on Thursday night, and I think they'll get a win.
I think The Warriors are looking and saying, "I wish we would have shot like that." Versus the way that Denver shot today.
Yeah.
Because they were shooting out of their minds. Just like when Green hit that shot, I go, "Shit." If Jeff
Right.
Green's hitting threes, it's
Yeah,
gonna be a long night. But
Green
we
is
fought back.
97
You know
years
what?
old, man.
Yeah, but we fought back though, and I was pleasantly surprised that they fought back like that.
Yeah.
Because I thought maybe Davis might want to shut it down. But no, they fought back. So I am more confident going into the second game, and I think Nuggets should be a little worried. It's always that last one. I feel y'all every time, Mr. J gets me every time.
And
Telling
I'll
you,
tell
should
you
have
one
said.
thing, too. Huh?
Go ahead.
No,
No.
they need a lot more from D'Angelo Russell. Like,
Yes.
we're done with the Anthony Davis slander. He's shown up huge in these playoffs through the first couple rounds and tonight. D'Angelo Russell is way too hot and cold for the level of talent that he has.
I think he sat all of the fourth quarter, right?
Most, if not all, yeah. I mean, he just wasn't being effective. He was 4 for 11. He scored 8 points. Like he's a
much
better player than that.
Or he's got to give it to us on defense. Like Murray, he's got to try to lock up Murray or something.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say score the points because he's not that guy on defense. So
he's not that guy.
No.
D'Lo's shots got to fall. He really is the difference maker in every series we play. Plus his size does help on defense.
That's the one thing. He's bigger, because Denver. Jamal Murray is like 6'3", I believe. So he's got a couple of inches on Murray. That can bother him. But I mean, D'Angelo's not a great defender by any stretch. And
but you can't let him breeze like that.
No, and just blow by you and all that. But he has to hit his shots.
Any thoughts on the Spurs winning the draft lottery? So the number one pick I'm seeing is this guy from the G League.
No. That you're talking about Scoot. They're projecting him to go second or third. The number one pick is Victor Wembanyama, who is a 19-year-old from France. He's 7'2". He's been playing professionally for a few years, and they're calling him possibly the greatest prospect of all time, right? Like, so they essentially just won the right to draft LeBron or Michael Jordan right there. That's why the Spurs, I don't know if it was vice president or GM or who it was at the lottery. That's why he jumped up and was screaming, "Let's go!" and was all excited because they're getting Victor Wembanyama, and Greg Popovich is going to get 5, 6, 7 more rings.
You think he's that good?
He is a phenomenal player, and he is good at everything. Now, I mean, obviously, he hasn't played in the NBA. He's only 19 years old. You got to see, if it translates, but it looks like it's going to translate. I mean,
coming to San Antonio, dude is only 19.
Yeah, and Jay is definitely going to get us an autographed jersey. He's going to send that our way. Thank you, Jay.
Shout out to Jay. Yeah, I don't think had this been a blowout, I would have been a little concerned about the Lakers. But I don't look at the series now and say, "Oh my God, we're in trouble." Like, I don't think anybody watches that game. I think you go, can the Nuggets keep that up?
Griff watched it and said they're in trouble.
Well, Griff did, but Griff's also a Ravens fan, so.
And a Pelicans fan. And when's the last time he saw good basketball?
Can't be crapping on people that just came in.
On them. They're bad at basketball. I don't know what. It's not my fault.
I mean, you know who else is bad at basketball? The Warriors. Shout out to
Hendo. That's facts.
But we're not going to sit here for 2 hours because Ron needs to go to bed, and I do too. But I know Brandon said it earlier. He says he expects me. Where did he say it? I'm expecting a post-game stream from Suge every Laker game. I will do my best. I know this Thursday I am going to Disneyland. Hopefully I'll be home for the game. Yeah. Well, because I got 3 tickets.
God damn, man.
And I just want to share this with you, Brody. You know what I watched today while I was working all day? It was really actually kind of comforting because I got a lot of work done while watching this. I watched Hobby Breaks, which is
what?
Hobby Breaks. So team breaks. So basically, it's what I had talked about with Derek, where they get a bunch of cards and they open it, but you have people bid on a certain. So the way this people were doing it was division, but it was so they were opening these packs that come with one card, but it could be any sport. Okay, and then they were opening these things called flawless, which are like $6,000, $7,000 packs of cards. And to buy into this thing was $5,000. So there's 8 spots. So $5,000. They open 8 of these 1-pack cards and then 2 of the boxes of flawless, because it comes with the middle and then 3 separate cards. So it comes with the middle with about 10 cards in it and then 3 cards. And the middle cards are all like jersey, signature cards.
Right.
And I watched this for 5 hours. First off, let me tell you, who in the hell has this one guy? He went in 3 times. Okay, the first 2 times he didn't hit anything. He got maybe 1 or 2 cards, maybe got $1,000 back each time. His last one, he hit about $20,000 in cards, and it was amazing to watch. And my gambling senses were kicking up. Thank God I don't have credit or a credit card with $5,000, because I would have absolutely bought it and then called you later and like, Ronnie, I just spent $5,000. And you know what I got? I got an Austin Reed signature.
Right. You're like, oh, you're not getting that lightsaber. I made a mistake.
Yeah. Or I call you and say, Rodney, I'm flying you out to California and we are going to Disneyland because I got because they opened the one that only comes with 1 card. Dude, like they opened a LeBron jersey signature, or it was just like a LeBron jersey one. That's a 10 PSA. That thing, people were like, I looked it up. It was going for like $2,800. There was they opened up a Brady card that goes for like $5,000.
Yeah.
Signature. They were just opening up all kinds of stuff. They hit. I jumped up. I ain't gonna lie. I yelled because they opened up a signed George Pickens, and I jumped up with that one. They opened a Lamar signature one. It was like, and it was different. It was like they opened up a Shohei Ohtani because it comes with different sports, and it was just amazing to watch. But they did the like 5 of these box break that you had to pay $5,000, and then this one guy, he played it 3 times, $15,000. But then he ended up making his money at the end, and I think so. He ended up making like an extra $10,000. So could you imagine? You imagine you just spent $10,000 and didn't get shit.
Well, but that's the thing, and why I don't get it. It's for people who have money and are bored.
Oh, for sure.
So you say, could you imagine spending $10,000 and not getting anything? Well, yeah, because I bet $10 and lose all the time, and it's basically the same thing.
It's basically with $10,000, Jesus Christ. But it was dope to see how that community, because there was like 5,000 people watching, and I watched this for like 4 or 5 hours because I had my phone right here and I was doing my work, and I had the earpiece in, and I would ever look over and they go, oh, they open this Kareem Black signature card. They open a bunch of LeBron stuff. Who is this? The rookie from Detroit, Childress. From Detroit Pistons.
Not Cade Cunningham.
Cade Cunningham.
Okay.
Yeah, him. Yeah. They opened a signature worn jersey card of him, and that thing's going for like freaking $4,000 or $5,000.
Why?
I mean, I've never heard of this guy. Like LeBron makes sense.
Cade Cunningham. Why?
Who? You tell me, Rodney. Who is he?
This is why I can't get into it, because none of this stuff is worth anything. Like it's a picture printed on some cardboard
with someone's signature.
Yeah,
with someone's signature, and people are paying thousands. Real quick, take Rodney to Disneyland. I mean, I'm shit. If I would have had $5,000 in a break,
why is that funny, Jeremy? I can't enjoy things. I can't have nice things.
I'll try to be on the next one if I'm. Oh, you're Jay. I was actually going to invite you, but I figured the kids were awake and you had to deal with them. So no, you're definitely invited on Thursday then.
Damn, Jeremy.
If I could. Who has an extra 15 to burn around here? Exactly. Hey, Mr. J, lunch break hot take does.
No, we do not.
Can I borrow 5? Could you imagine you give me 5 G's and I use it and we don't get nothing? Cunningham's not a rookie. Okay, yeah, I don't know if he was, but supposedly that card is worth a lot. And the guy from the Thunder, the white boy, Gritty,
Josh Giddey, really?
Josh Giddey.
I thought you were talking about the rookie who didn't play it all this year.
No, Giddey. A signature for him was worth a couple thousand.
Goddamn degenerates, man! Like,
it's funny because how stubborn Bronny is.
What is that? Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah. There was a bunch of just stuff. I'll send you the link next time. Just watching these people open this stuff, and then they were doing a box break. I was watching when I got home, and it's $600 to buy it. I'm just like,
I'll just go to images.google.com and download some pictures if I want them.
No, we got this is how we get lunch break hot take going. We buy like freaking $20,000 in cards.
No,
make people buy.
We don't have $20,000 to buy pieces of cardboard.
Brady said, "When you think if I had $20,000, I would be doing this."
Oh, man, it's ridiculous.
Ridiculous. We got to find somebody with good credit to buy it with a credit card so we can max it out and make some money. Josh Giddey on the Thunder is not a rookie either.
But Jay,
they were just opening these stuff up, Jay.
He's not.
I didn't, but that's what I'm saying. I didn't know who these guys were, so I'm like, oh, these guys are rookies because I've never heard of them and I've never seen them play.
Yeah.
Let me see. I just want to look this up real quick before we get out of here.
Yeah, no, I thought you meant Chet Holmgren, but he hasn't. He got hurt before the season, hasn't played at all. But Josh Giddey, somebody paying thousands of dollars for Josh Giddey's signature is wild.
Here we go. So right now on eBay, Josh Giddey flawless RPA 2 of 10 auto rookie is $1,200.
That is a terrible deal. I don't understand it.
That's $1,200. They have it on eBay right now for $1,200. 2021 flawless diamond auto Josh Giddey 10 clean signature $1,250. Yeah, these hobby boxes are $10,000, $8,000. So if anybody's got some good credit that we can borrow, we'll pay you back.
It makes no sense. Like there's no connection to reality for any of these prices.
Hey,
and it's just
I'm a Magic player. There's a point in my life I paid for a card called Boris Reckoner, Bronny, and this card was $40 a piece, and you had to have 4 of them in the deck. So I bought 4 of them. I spent $200 and something for that card. That card, after it rotated out, basically in Magic you rotate every so often, and that card is no longer in that format. You can use it in other formats, but not that format. That card went from $40 to 23 cents. And I was pissed. I was always pissed and salty about that. Why did I waste almost $160, $200 plus shipping on a card that lasted in rotation for a couple months, and then once it was out, it has never been played. You've never seen that card ever again. That card doesn't get played
because they get the hooks in you. And that's my point. Is like it's not actual. Like there's no actual value. It's all manipulated. Like they could just print more cards, right?
Well, I want to just look this up for you so I can kind of tell you. So they have in this flawless thing, in this flawless pack, they have what's called Logo Man. I want to show it to you real quick. But look at the price of this card, and this is DeMar DeRosa and Kyle Lowry for this card right here. But this is 2004, 2015. Panini Flawless, $15,000.
I can't. And listen, honestly, I can't stand people who get into this kind of stuff because then people who actually want to collect things because they like them can't do it.
Yeah, see, so this is the big thing that's in this set, Panini. It's these Logo Mans, and these things are like just $10,000 for this box of cards, Rodney. We are not doing something right. Most of last year's class is very unknown. Yeah. Every team is eventually going to have to that 1.69 to 7 foot. Bobo Victor W being the exception, who can handle, shoot, rebound, defend. Yeah, it is become the thing, especially from your Europeans. You know, Kobe said it a while back. Europeans learn the fundamentals, and they were going to be coming, and they're here. I mean, you obviously just saw, you know, the best player in the game, Jokic. You know, Luka Doncic. You know,
yeah, like you could make a. I mean, I don't think it's a very strong argument right now, but you can make an argument that like within the next 2 or 3 years, Jokic and Doncic will be the 2 best players in the league.
I mean, other than Austin Reeves.
Yeah, screw that guy.
We already had that with Embiid and Jokic. Yeah, I mean, and everyone's forgetting.
And you forgot
from the Bucks.
Wow.
From the Bucks.
Giannis. He can't shoot though. He's trying.
He's still good. He's still a great player.
Yeah, he is, but he can't shoot though. He tries real hard.
All right, it's already been an hour. God damn it! I don't want to go for an hour. I want to get off because I want to go to bed. I had a long day today, and this game kind of irritated me. But Brandon, before we get out of here, let people know where they can find you and where they can see all your content.
So I am part of or half of Lunch Break Hot Take. You can find us every Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time, where we do the LBHT show live, and we follow that up with the overtime show for our patrons. You can find us on all social media at LBHT show. I'm also 1/3 of Ring Kings podcast, which is our boxing podcast with my brother Jose and our friend OTR Mike. You can find us, like it says on the screen, at Ring Kings Pod. We put out episodes every Monday. We also stream Saturday nights following big events. We'll be streaming this Saturday. There's a couple of major boxing matches coming up. Chantel Cameron versus Katie Taylor. Devin Haney versus Vasily Lomachenko. So we'll be streaming after those fights. But yeah, definitely head over there, subscribe, and turn on those notifications and join us.
Yeah, make sure to join their Patreon. The OT is always fun. It's a great time. Their show is great. They don't just talk Ravens and Panthers. They do talk all sports. I'm pretty sure we're going to be talking Lakers tomorrow. So that's going to be fun. They're going to probably be talking about Doc Rivers getting fired, you know, and all that good stuff.
And your boy John.
Make sure that the John Morant, you know, going blah blah blah, you know, and you know they talk about so many good things. I did want to ask you though,
why is that funny, Jay? Why y'all laughing at me right now? I don't understand. I hop on here, try to do a show for y'all, but just
don't forget to, there is a book club that I can't join, and I tried to tell Bronny that, and he made fun of me.
I didn't make fun of you. I said you don't have to join.
No, you said
you can join.
You said readers only. You said readers only.
You can read, Suge.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can.
But I did want to ask you a question because it was announced today that the most prestigious belt is back on the market.
Audible.
You know, I could. The most prestigious belt is back on the market. The BMF is being fought for between Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier. How do you feel about that?
Absolute nonsense. You know,
as soon as I saw that, I knew you were going to be.
No, because me and Jose were talking about that the other day. How they had an opportunity when they made up this garbage belt and just handed it to what's his name, Masvidal. How they could have just fed him a few, you know, low-level fighters, let him get a few knockout wins, you know, keep that popularity up, and then have him fight a real fighter with the belt on the line and lose it and give it a little prestige, and then just have that be a lower-level belt under the actual world championship, kind of like an intercontinental belt, right?
Hey,
they could have done that.
Belt.
I'm not disrespecting that. No, that's my point. That's my point.
You equated more to the hardcore title. Equated to
no.
The Intercontinental was prestige.
That's what I'm saying, Suge. That's my point. They could have made it a prestigious belt but they chose not to. They just gave it to him until he retired, and now some
Well, he
people
lost
are
it.
fighting
He
for
lost,
it.
did he lose?
He lost
Did
it.
he
He
lose?
lost like 3 times. He never lost the belt. They just let him keep it. He quit fighting now. That's why it's
Should have took
vacant.
the belt when he should have took the belt when he sucker punched Kobe.
Well, and if I'm Dustin Poirier, because Poirier, I think he's gonna win that fight. I think. I mean, I like Justin Gaethje, but
Did you see the fights in that?
I did.
Alex
But if I'm Poirier, I'm not even taking that belt. Just throw that on the ground and leave. This is garbage. Pereira and Blachowicz. I'm looking forward to that. I think Pereira's going to put him to sleep.
He's going up to light heavyweight. He doesn't have to cut. That's scary.
I think he's
God damn it! I want to hurry up and get off, but I want to ask you: are you going to talk about this tomorrow? Are you going to talk about Francis Ngannou?
I think we are. I believe.
Okay, so we'll wait till tomorrow. Yeah, wait till tomorrow to hear Bronny's thoughts on Francis Ngannou signing for the PFL. John Jones going after him, and all these fans going after him, and saying he's ducking John Jones. I really wish that we go back when the UFC was first and Strikeforce was around, where they would bet against each other and say, "Okay, you guys are going to fight." We should have that absolutely, and make UFC fighters fight in like one FC or one FC. One is it one FC or
one FC? Yeah.
Yeah, it's one FC or PFL to fight their champion in their ring,
kind of like they do in soccer with the Champions League. You get your top fighters. I'll get my top fighters, and we'll see.
Yeah, and it would be great.
Yeah,
it would be great.
It would. But they're not really about entertaining.
But here's the thing, though, Bronny. How much money would they make? The heavyweight champion of Bellator versus the heavyweight champion of F1C. PBL, one FC, PFL versus UFC, and then the other two meet. Dude, that would sell like hotcakes.
Mm-hmm.
Dana White, get your head out of your ass, stop being racist, and get that done. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't think that. I don't. Once you said racist, I think he's not going to hear anything that you said before that. So,
I mean, he's not even watching this because of
he probably is though.
He might be.
This is big time.
Well, if Dana White, if you're watching,
you're poor, you're broke, and no one gives a shit about you, and you need to realize that.
That's not true. I mean, he made a ton of money on this old UFC.
Oh, he's a gambler too. All right, that is it. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Thank you, Bronny, for jumping on. I really appreciate it. I know you wanted to get some rest, but I appreciate you jumping on. Yes, I will go live Thursday after the Laker game. It might be later. Like I said, I will be at Disneyland, so I'll be catching the game.
You're rubbing that in.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture with a lightsaber too. Have a good night, y'all. Appreciate you. Hit that follow, comment, and like. Appreciate you guys for being here.